Good morning, everybody. This is Patrick Lee, and it's time for Midweek Motivation Live. Happy to be back with you today for this episode. We will be back right after this opening intro. See you in a sec. Good morning, everybody. It is great to be back behind the computer here and the camera in Studio One, Patrick Lee Group offices downtown in the First Bank Southwest Tower. It's not a shameless plug for them. Let me adjust the camera here just a little bit. If I sit back just a hair, I go a little too low in the screen. For my liking, and probably for yours too. Good to see people tuning into the show already. So happy to be back. We missed last week. I was on another part of the country out in Oregon, taking care of some family issues. Family matters. That's what we're talking about today. Is loneliness, or is it better to be better? Better Together is the title of the show today. Are we meant to be alone in life or to have relationships? We talk about relationships a lot here on the show. Are those things that we are actually meant to have in life? And what can be said for the people that make the argument that I am better alone? I don't need other people, and I find that I thrive, or I do my best work by myself. And it's something that I have been experiencing lately. And the things that I experience in life, I think that if they're therapeutic for me and I come to some kind of a decision, that it can be the same for you. People already coming, tuning in. Sal, good to see you. Pete, Marlene, good morning, good morning, good morning. And people tuning in live around the world. I love that. Not just here at my office. I have a team of agents, and I suppose I could force them to tune into the show every week. That would probably be a little bit of a good way to run off my teammates. So I don't, but Marlene works for me and here with me on the team, and is a phenomenal agent, transaction coordinator, and friend. Thank you for tuning into the show, Marlene. Phenomenal person. Blessed to have all of you in my life. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. Better Together is the topic of the show. Many people in my life, in my social circles, in my family, myself included, we go through these phases in our life, these stages in our life, where people make us crazy. We go through stages where people act out and don't do the right thing, right? They don't do the right thing. People that don't act the way we expect them to act. People that do hurtful things to us, harmful things to our relationships, harmful things in our families. And we make these decisions sometimes, that it's better to just not have a relationship with those people. Sometimes we say to ourselves, I would be better off if I just went and lived in the woods somewhere, went off grid, lived in a little cabin in the mountains, and I could hunt and fish all day and not have to listen to anybody or their problems, or allow them to hurt me, anger me, drive me in a different direction, or hurt my feelings. And raise your hand if that's been you. I have been through that mindset. I have thought those thoughts. I do believe that we are supposed to take every thought captive, and process those thoughts, and not allow improper thoughts to take hold, get a foothold in our life. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. The heading is Better Together. That's the title, Better Together. And that's where we're ultimately going to bring this back around to, is better together. But it comes from a season, a period of time, to where things happen in our lives that kind of drive us towards these periods of aloneness, or not. And I don't mean loneliness, because we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that here next. The effects of loneliness, but aloneness. if I can't get a little peace and quiet, I'm going to go crazy. How many of you have said that lately? How many of you, if you haven't said that to somebody, how many of you have just felt that? I mean, let me know in the comments. I read all of the comments and I try to go back and like and love all of the comments after the show. And sometimes I can comment during the show, and the platforms, the social media platforms, have made that harder lately to comment during the show. There are limits on how we broadcast to multiple platforms, and that changes the effect of me being able to comment live during the show using this platform. So I do try to go back and at least like and love all the comments, but drop a comment in during the show, and good comments, of course, I can throw up on the screen and maybe we can talk about them too. But the ultimate goal of the show is to let people know that we are better together. And I know some people have used that in their political campaigns and slogans. I'm in the middle of a political campaign right now for the board of directors at the Association of Realtors that I'm a member of. And we have a group of agents that are actually running together like a ticket that I am a part of. And I fully believe and truly believe that we are better together, and that all opinions have a right to be heard. All people's questions, fears, and successes have a right to be heard. And that's kind of the thing that we are running on, is this better together. But I truly believe that in relationships. And I think that those of you that know me understand that we are better together. And I'm a relationship guy, right? So I talk about relationships a lot because I think that it's a very important topic. And if we let it become part of the background of who we are, that it's strong, but we always need to keep it in the foreground. So we're constantly working on those. Better together, should we truly strive to have relationships? Within the last couple of months, we have gone through a lot of things in my family and my employees, my teammates' family. I don't say employees, my teammates, my coworkers, a lot of people in my other relationships. Those of you that watch the show, and those people that voice those concerns, those problems, the seasons in their life. And I always try to be a listening ear, have a shoulder for people to cry on, and a sounding board for others. And many times I am going to bring forth, or I'm going to offer, consolation, a listening ear, an agreeing opinion. Sometimes I'm the voice of a dissenting. I don't agree with what's going on, and I want to get involved to the point where some of these situations people go through anger me to the point that I want to get involved and take action for my friend, for my family member, for my associate. A friend made a post on social media the other day and actually posted a text message of a person that started harassing her because she posted a selfie. And I was offended for my friend. Now, the Bible says we're not supposed to pick up someone else's offense, but I wanted to jump in and defend this person. Very nice lady. And the person made a bunch of derogatory comments about her just because she posted a selfie for her own self-image to help lift herself up. And they did it under the shroud of anonymity, not knowing who they were. And as a real estate agent, we have the ability to run background checks on everybody and do reverse searches on multiple people because of the nature of what we do in the real estate world. And I ran a reverse search on the person, and I found out exactly who they were. And I sent that information to my friend. And I said, here you go. This is the person saying the mean, hurtful things about you, and you can do with it what you will. Right. So I didn't pick up their offense, but I started to, and I just got involved and said, hey, you need to know who this person is that is saying these hurtful things to you. And I'm like, if they do something with it, that's on them, not me. But I don't like it when people attack my friends. Right. Peter says sometimes family isn't flesh and blood. You're exactly right. The Bible talks about Christ, Jesus, being the friend that sticks closer than a brother. And there are many times, I have multiple friends that watch the show, don't watch the show. I have a lot of family members, some that do watch the show and a lot of them that don't watch the show. And I get it. That's okay. Family is who you make it. Flesh and blood is blood family. But your family outside of your blood family is who you make it, who you allow into your life. Yes, Jesus is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Most of my friends call me the brother from another mother, but the same daddy, and that's our Father God in heaven. So I have developed relationships with a lot of people for that reason. I have some great relationships with some family members, and some family members that simply choose not to have a relationship with me. And I get it. And there are multiple reasons why people have relationships with you and multiple reasons why they don't. What do you think some of those relationship problems are? Let's go into our first question here. What are some of the effects of loneliness? And are these things healthy? When people are alone, you feel like you've been driven away from family and friends. People have said a lot of hurtful things to you, and you decide it's better to just go spin a cocoon around yourself, attach yourself to the couch and the TV, and maybe you need to Netflix binge a series that you're enthralled with, and just check out for a while. And I know a lot of people that do that. They get to the point to where they have socialized all that they can, and their body, their mind, their psyche just can't take it anymore, and they have to go veg out for a few days. The dangerous thing of that is when you veg out for a few days, you start getting these feelings of loneliness. And then it turns into a mindset of, well, I've checked out for a few days and now I'm starting to feel a little better about it. Maybe I don't need these people in my life anymore. Maybe I should do this longer and I will become healthier for it. The dangerous thing about that is once you let yourself go into that cocoon, many of you wake up 2 years later and you have no relationships and no family and no friends because you checked out so long that people gave up. They reached out to you and you turned them down. They asked you to go out for dinner and you said no. I'm not feeling up to it. Oh, I've been sick. I've been under the weather. I've got way too much to do around the house. I've got cleaning to do and I've got things that I've got to do. And you just start becoming into yourself. You hide in this cocoon and you literally do. It takes you 6 months or a year or 2 years later, or you absolutely turn into a recluse, a hermit. You just check out and you don't like people anymore. And that's not healthy. You can check out and distance yourself from toxic relationships. That's one thing. But it is not good for us to be alone. When you are left alone with your own thoughts and nothing to influence that but social media and the news or Netflix or Hollywood or TV shows, how many of you know that all of those things are make believe? They're not real. And you start believing a lie, you start internalizing these things that you're fed from the TV screen or your computer screen, and they're not real. Not healthy. Not healthy at all. We are better together. When a friend, I've been reached out to so many times in the past by friends, a lot of my good friends, and the comments that will come to them from time to time is, Patrick, I'm just so lonely. And lonely is not healthy. Lonely is sad. I have friends that are toxic, lonely people, and all of their posts deal with the effects of their loneliness. They post memes about loneliness, little shorts about lonely people and the ways that lonely people try to cope with life. And they're very sad. They're negative. They're not positive things. And it's not something that's healthy mentally for you to do. We are relationship beings. The Bible talks about it being better. It's blessed for us to dwell together in unity. When God made man, he saw that man was alone and he created him a helpmate. We all need helpmates, whether it's a friend or a spouse, whether it's a lover or it is a good friend, a brother. We are better. What are the effects of loneliness? Are they healthy? I think that most people left to their own devices will agree and admit that you do not think healthy thoughts when you are left alone for long periods of time. You engage in activity that is unhealthy for you, your body, and your mind when you're left alone. Idle hands are the devil's workplace, right? An empty mind creates random things that are not good for you. Most of the effects of loneliness, turn into those things: unhealthy thoughts, unhealthy actions, a lack of health, a lack of getting out in the sun, doing things that are good for you, usually binge watching TV on the couch under a blanket, is going to turn into a lot of other things. Most people cope with loneliness. How do some of you cope with loneliness? Leave a comment here on the page. A lot of people cope with loneliness with alcohol. That's not healthy, is it? If someone wants to have alcohol in their life, I think that there's a balance for that, and a social drink someone wants to have with the meal, I think there's balance for that. The Bible talks about that. And it's funny that I use the Bible, not funny, but interesting that I use everything I say basically can be found in Scripture and in every one of the top motivational books, because the top motivational books get all of their foundations in Scripture. Okay. So it just is what it is. The number one selling book of all time. You would think that I might use that in my show, and that is the Holy Bible. But many people cope with their problems with an imbalanced use of alcohol, and that turns into alcoholism, and that can be something that you never escape from. A lot of people turn their loneliness into toxic language. And when you do react to people, or you do come in contact with people, your language is such that it turns others off, because you've been left alone with your own thoughts for so long. You can't even converse with other people in a friendly manner because you're snapping at people, or you're saying things that are crazy, and it makes them not want to have a relationship with you, and you're driving them away. And that compounds the problem, right? Your inadequacy to converse with people, your social skills decline, and then people don't want to hang around you anymore. And then it's a compounded problem of loneliness, which leads to despair, and then the number one cause of suicide, loneliness. Compounded by drug use, compounded by alcoholism, compounded by a multitude of other things. It causes people to take their own lives out of despair. None of us want that. This is a happy show. It's Midweek Motivation Live, not Midweek Depression Live. What are some of the effects of relationships, and are those things healthy? Healthy relationships. When you have relationships with others, you can live a much more blessed life. The thoughts that you start having that are not healthy, your friend in your relationship can tell you that. You can bounce things off of others, and they start saying, wow, that was a crazy thought. You might want to get that one under control, because some of the things that we think are just nuts, right? I think crazy thoughts when I'm alone. And if I don't bounce them off of someone else, there's no one to tell me that, hey, that's not a good thought. You should probably change that thought. You need to get some of these things under control, man. Is this helping any of you today? Like, love, share the show. If you're on YouTube watching this, click on the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. These are the kind of things that I want to help you with, the things that we talk about regularly here on Midweek Motivation Live. You need a sounding board. When you have a sounding board for your crazy thoughts, they can tell you those are crazy thoughts. They can also help lift you up when you're having great thoughts, and when you're on an idea or a topic that's going to bless your life and those around you. You can grow. Synergy happens when you have a relationship. When you're married, you and your lover create children. Healthy things come from your relationships. Procreation happens in a relationship. It doesn't happen when you're alone. Ideas come out of relationships. When you start bouncing ideas off of other people, many of you know this. You get together and you have a brainstorming session. A brainstorming session when you're alone is like, it's like a thunderstorm that you're not going to get out of. But when you do that with other people, you find a path through. Great ideas come out of that. You start bouncing things off of each other, and one idea turns into another idea, and it gets added on with another facet of idea. And then before long, you have a business plan and a model, and a business is birthed from that. A new band, strikes up. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? The effects of relationships are good for you. Healthy relationships are good for you. They help balance out your psyche. They help balance out your mood swings. They help teach you social skills. And when that happens, wonderful things come about from it, right? I have a lot of great friends. And when I was young, this will surprise you, but those of you that know me and know where I grew up in Bandon, Oregon, I was not a popular child. I was a skinny Pentecostal kid, fourth of five, and we didn't have a lot of money. So I was picked on a lot. I was a very small kid, was picked on a lot, didn't have a lot of friends. And it wasn't until high school when I did get into sports, developed some relationships, people pulled me out of that loneliness, that isolationist mentality that I had. I like to do a lot of things by myself. I went to the beach by myself. I went running by myself. I went to hang out in the woods by myself. I had one good friend for numerous years that always got me in trouble. So then I learned to stay away from that friend and didn't have a lot of friends, like I said, until high school, and started developing relationships. And I've shared with you in the past, it wasn't until I got a motivational cassette dropped in my hand when I was 20 years old that it started changing my life. And I started realizing maybe I could have an effect on others. If I changed me for the better, I could help change others for the better. And I started developing this lifestyle, this personality of being a relationship guy. The effects of relationships on my life have been amazing at changing who I am. And I believe they can change who you are too. We can build a better life with the help of our friends, family, and teammates. When I got into this career about 9 years ago, it was 9 years ago, 30 days ago. Okay. I just celebrated my 9th anniversary as a real estate agent. I was fixing to turn 50. That will tell you my age. I'm fixing to turn 59. So I was fixing to turn 50, and I decided to get into real estate, and had tried in the past to get into real estate. I had taken a couple of the classes and quit. I was doing it online, working 70, 80 hours a week at my day job, night job, all around job as a salaried employee. And it became very hard for me to continue to stay motivated to get into real estate, to finish the classes. I was encouraged by numerous people. My Aunt Virginia out in Oregon was a C21 agent, gold jacket. I've shared that with you. Very, very inspirational to me. And thank you, Cody. Happy anniversary. I appreciate that. And my aunt was very inspirational to me. She just retired early this year at 84 years old with her final transaction, which was actually helping my little brother purchase their home for he and his wife. And that was a wonderful way for her to retire. And so we come from a long line of hard workers in my family, and we last a long time. We keep our motivation up, and we work. We're workers. Most of us are workers, and most of us are hard workers. So I did that, and it changed who I am when I decided to finally go for it. And I did it with the help of relationships. When I got into this industry, one of the leaders at the first brokerage I went to work for asked me who my sphere of influence was. I didn't really know what a sphere of influence was, but I knew who my friends were, who my family was. And those were people in my previous work industry that I had developed relationships in my church family. And I had collected all of their phone numbers in my phone. I'm a relationship guy. I have thousands of people in my phone, and I will call someone back, or they'll call me after 1 or 2 years, and I will answer the phone and tell them, and I will call them by name, and they'll say, "Oh my God, how do you remember who this is?" I said, "I've saved you in my phone a long time ago." because I had relationship with you and I don't want to lose you. Every now and then we'll lose our phone. We'll get a new phone. We'll lose some of the names to our phone numbers. And the first thing I do is I say, please, if I've got a new phone, please text me your name with your number so I can refresh my database in my phone. This database is a data bank. All I have to do is call the people in my phone. There are thousands of them, and we can do business together because we have relationships. We build better lives with the help of our friends, family, and teammates. When I started this team, I had previously left the team that I was on. I had great friendships and relationships with people on that team and made a lot of other relationships with wonderful realtors all over my area and now in the country at EXP where I work now. And I went lone wolf. When I left, I said, I'm just going to be an independent agent. That's where my mind went. I said, I'm just going to be an independent agent. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to do my own deals. I don't need other people, because in my mind, I told myself that everyone would say he's only a success because of those other people, and he'll never be able to do it on his own. So I needed to prove it to myself and to others that I could do it on my own. And for a very short time, I did. But the thing that I found out was people came to me and said, I want to work with you. I like working with you. Other people were referred to me and said, if you want to learn real estate, hook up with Patrick Lee. He's not greedy and he'll teach you how to be a realtor. And now I have a team of agents, and they continue to come every other week. It seems like for the last couple of months, we've been having someone else join. And now I have a handful of agents that work with me. And you know what I found out? I'm better with the help of my teammates. I'm better with the help of my friends and my family. Word. Gary Little, my brother from another mother. Love you, man. It's true. Everyone that leaves your immediate circle does not leave your life. If you have relationship, put people in your life, for God's sake. Be nice to people. If you find yourself being alone, we're coming up on the end of the show. And if you find yourself alone, if you find yourself feeling lonely, and many people I've shared with you reach out to me when this happens. And it's funny, as we get to the end of the show, the viewership starts going up. When I stop getting off script, when I get off script and just start talking from my heart, viewership always improves. Maybe it starts coming through the airwaves. I don't know, but it's just true. When you start finding yourself in a funk, when you find yourself in a dark place and you've been through things that are shaking you to your core, maybe you don't know where your life is going. Maybe you've had a bad relationship fall apart. Reach out to a friend, reach out to me, and let's work on that. And it doesn't have to be me, but it can be me. It can be one of my teammates or one of your friends or a family member. If it's someone that you think you can trust, just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm not in a healthy place right now. Can you help me? I just need to go out and have dinner with somebody. I need to go out and experience life. Maybe we need to go to the park. Maybe I need to go back to church because my friends are at church, and I find when I'm not at church because I felt like someone offended me and I was wronged or something, maybe I just need to go back to church where I have a couple of friends, and then I can talk to somebody, and maybe I can realize, hey, we have a grievance with somebody, or I was thinking wrong, right? And we can get over it and we can move on and we can go heal that relationship. I just don't want you to be alone. I don't want people to be alone. The effects of loneliness are not good for you. We are better together. I am blessed to have each and every one of you that watch the show, that you come back week after week. I'm so glad to be back live this week after a couple of weeks of technical issues with the platform. I was in restriction on social media for 30 days and was not able to go live. So we had to record the shows and then broadcast them right after we recorded them like they were live, but they're still recorded. And it's not the same as when we can interact with people. We are better together. and I am better for each and every one of you that come back and watch the show. Share this with your family and friends. If it's helped you, if you're my friend and I can help someone else, surely I would love for you to share the show. And as always, if I can help you in your real estate needs, buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, be sure and click on the link to my digital business card in the comments below this video, www.patricklee.work. Schedule an appointment in my calendar, even if it's not real estate related, man. Just schedule a time to get on the phone with me and let's chat. Let's talk. Robert Green, my other brother from another mother. How are you doing, bro? Glad to see you on here. You and Angela watch the show. I see you tune in and comment from time to time. I love you guys. Didn't even know that we would be friends when we first met. I love it. It's awesome. As always, what? It's in my banner here. What my tagline? Oh, where's my tagline? Courage begins at the end of your comfort zone. This has been Patrick Lee with Midweek Motivation Live. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.